Hi, Lindsay,
Hello, how is
and
everybody?
everybody else.
Good afternoon.
Sorry you're on leave. I'm
It's okay.
sorry you shouldn't have come.
Yeah, then we wouldn't be able to have the meeting. So
Uh,
it's all good. All right, I'll get this rocking.
I motion
Um,
to do everything.
yes.
Get it all done. All of it. All right, so anybody have anything they want to add or delete from the agenda? Hearing nothing.
He does.
All right, let's get minutes from the last meeting from September 4th. Anybody want to make a motion to approve or have any issues with?
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye, raise your hand. Good to go for that, Lindsay. All right, so these never-ending indefinite waivers.
Mhm. This is the backup support for Chittenden.
Okay,
Get it open. Okay, so, whoops.
Spears is headed down to the Unitarian Church to speak with Randy.
So Chittenden County, they submitted the A-RIDE rule information per officer. So if you wanted to review and determine whether or not that was enough information to make a decision on that.
I'm hoping that they sent more than just this email and well, I guess they sent their original
Yeah, the
waiver
original
paperwork, right?
request, which didn't say much, but this was at least like breaking down per each person what they're actually doing.
Okay. So all they do is construction and civilian paperwork.
Generally speaking, we're accepting the person doesn't perform patrol or roadside work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is saying that.
Yep.
And I can translate sheriff speak for anybody who doesn't know sheriff speak, but those are all not patrol work things.
What is UTO? Is that uniform traffic stop?
Uniform traffic officer. It's blue lights on a construction job.
Yeah.
How big is their department? It's a lot of people that don't do
Pretty big.
anything.
They've taken on a lot, I think.
If you think about the county itself, there's police departments in just about every single town. So they don't perform a traditional law enforcement function where other sheriffs do.
Hmm. All right.
I can tell you.
Lindsay, any issues from the academy side on that?
No.
Okay. Anybody right now?
I'll make a
Is
motion.
Chris Bowden on there? There he is at the bottom. All right. Yeah, if someone wants to make a motion to accept.
So moved.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye, raise your hand. Lindsay, Chittenden County is through on this spreadsheet. Chris Bowden is the only one that's not highlighted in that. He's right at the bottom,
Thank you. Yep.
just for your sanity.
Thank you.
That's the only outstanding ones we have so far.
Mhm. Yes.
Cool.
Are the ones that were not accepted, like that's actively not accepted versus pending additional info, we had a query out to them? Like
Actively not accepted.
Got it. Sweet.
All right, what is so A-Ride? All right, let me look at that.
1 second. Sorry, the A-RIDE question that was brought to me the other day, and I don't want to have assumptions, so just running it by everybody. So this is more internal on process, but also when somebody is applying for an A-RIDE indefinite waiver, it applies only to that department, correct? So if they work for multiple agencies, they are still required to take A-RIDE regardless if they're applying for it in one department.
I would challenge that.
Okay.
I actually would agree. I know it's shocking, but
Here's why I challenge it. The waiver is applicable to the officer and their certification.
Right.
The concept of the indefinite waiver is if they return to the duty. It's
Correct.
employer
But-
agnostic.
right. So I would agree. I would say if they're doing like traffic, like let's say someone in Chittenden County is just doing traffic for Chittenden County, but works part-time for another agency doing law enforcement stuff,
Right.
then I would say whichever one has a greater responsibility. But if they're working for two agencies, just doing security or detail work and not like
Right.
traffic enforcement.
Right. This is more
Yeah.
like, so if somebody works for, which I have to remember the second part of this, if somebody works for, say, Middlebury and they're doing patrol work at Middlebury, but then they work for a sheriff and they say, I need an indefinite waiver for Addison County, they could get the A-RIDE indefinite waiver for Addison, but they would still be required to take A-RIDE with the other department. So regardless, the waiver wouldn't really exist.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, right,
fundamentally, it's the officer has to take the class. Like,
Right.
Right.
this is
I would
saying
almost
you
say
have
they're
a job
not
that doesn't
eligible
need
for a
it.
waiver then.
Right.
Even through the like Addison County, right? So Addison County should
Right.
know they work for another agency.
Yeah.
To me, that's an integrity thing for the officer where they need to get it taken care of and not try to backdoor and find a loophole.
Right.
So
That was,
two
yep, go ahead.
two thoughts with that. Thought
Yeah.
number one being, is there a way to either include on the indefinite waiver that you need to notify all agencies that you have the waiver? And so do that in the form and function of the waiver being issued. But number two, Lindsay, for the rules committee meeting that we throw this on to say we should define what that looks like in rule that places the onus on the officer certification. I'm thinking out loud, and if anybody wants to challenge it, but the rules committee has to meet. So this actually makes a lot of sense to discuss. Because number two, I'm thinking when we have a category C violation against an agency head, Chief Bingham has a part-time officer that works for Chief Polway, and they have an officer doing something, and one of them is now accused of doing something based on this waiver or supervising this employee. I don't think that either one should be culpable if they didn't knowingly do it. That's my personal opinion, whatever. But the point being, it's the officer certification. It's their driver's license.
I agree. That was the assumption I was going under, but I
Yeah.
wanted to verify that that was the same thought from you.
How easy is it or how hard? Because I imagine it's a bit of a nightmare, like tracking like a person working for multiple agencies to potentially not have this issue.
So in the new system, it's really easy. We basically put a flag on their record that they have the indefinite waiver. If they work for multiple agencies, then we can at least reach out to the secondary agency to make sure that they're aware, just for cross-tracking. But we also have the ability, so the new system allows us to like pause somebody's certificates, like they can't register for anything while something's being, like we have a lot more control as far as
Oh, good.
monitoring that than we did.
Okay. Yeah, and I would almost, I mean, forbid is such a strong word, but if you're working for multiple agencies and you're doing actual patrol work for another agency, I don't think you should be granted an indefinite waiver for any agency, because then I think that's where the water gets like super muddy.
Exactly. Yep,
I agree.
so you can't.
Okay. Well, that
Lindsay,
one
is
was
our
easy.
language on the granting of the indefinite waiver clear is tied to the certification, not the employer?
No, that's something I have to go back and verify with everybody we've given one to, just so that they're under the same understanding. And then I plan on blasting out to agency heads just that they are under the understanding if they ask for that, it's under certification, not the agency.
Cool.
Another question that came up was, we had approved indefinite waivers for DLL. And so it was more a conversation topic. And I'm happy to have Jamie come on at some point to talk further about this, but just as a heads up. So there is concern that they don't necessarily do patrol, but they do impairment work. So it's not like patrol impairment, but impaired users. So part of that was around, should they be allowed an indefinite waiver because they're dealing with impaired individuals or not? So it's more a food for thought.
So the genesis of standardized field sobriety tests, the extension to A-RIDE and drug recognition evaluations is all on impaired driving. Those programs specifically train, and I'm sure Jamie Lee could pull it out of the instructor manuals or the course program manuals, that they are designed for those things. And so like schools have said, we have a student who is impaired.
Yeah.
Mental health facility has a person who is impaired, and we have always, through the curriculum, I want to say the curriculum has always said this should be intended towards that. Buyer beware if you go outside, because of the field validation studies are based on traffic operation of a motor vehicle, even if it does the same functional aspect of recognizing a person's hammered at the bar. It's not tested for that.
Makes sense.
So I think we could bring in John Flanagan as the state coordinator for the DRE program, or Jamie Lee as the TC to talk about that more definitively. But the purpose of A-RIDE in statute, as well as in the employment from NHTSA, is to deter impaired driving. And I would think that that is consistent given the unique regulatory role of the Department of Liquor and Lottery. If they're stopping cars driving out of the bar, they should do A-RIDE. If they're stopping drunk stumbling out of the bar, it becomes a weirder line.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'd
If they're
agree
just
with
at the bar and looking for over serving or things like that, because I can't see them stopping, right? They're all in unmarked vehicles, not wearing anything to protect them, either body armor or like body cameras. So I would agree that if they're doing impairment work, it is likely not somebody driving.
That would be
So
my
unless someone from DLLs wants to chime in and change like what that impairment work looks like. Right now I would not see them needing.
Yeah, they're actually not prosecuting cases, right? Like they're not prosecuting DUIs. They're just basically coming down on establishments for over serving, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over
Yeah,
serving underage.
Underage, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
that's my
A-RIDE
understanding. Yep.
I don't know how A-RIDE would help them in that aspect of it.
Okay. How about I will bring that back to them if they have further things they want to talk about. I'll ask them to the next waiver subcommittee and they can present their case. Does that work?
Sounds great.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to go into Leo?
Yeah.
Lindsay, what day did you send that email with the waiver packets?
30th.
30th. Thank you, Aaron.
Why don't I see? Oh, because
They're
they're
in
links.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, they were so big and I was like, I'm not even going to try to attach on the thing.
So fancy.
So fancy. I know, switching it up on you. So just quick overview on Leal, as for UVM. You did have in the registration 2 areas where conduct during the polygraph background. Under our rule, it may be grounds for preventing them to come into training, but it's not a shall. So those were listed under the review. Certified level 3 in Florida, completed the Miami-Dade School of Justice Criminal Justice Standards and Training in 2008, which was 844 hours, completed FTO in 08. And then from then until 2025, they served with Florida International University Police Department. Prior to that, had worked with Opelika PD and then the U.S. Federal Reserve System prior to that. Has a lot of additional training. Seems to fit well with the university style, and we didn't have any cause for concern.
Except for the first 2 bullet points.
Except for the first 2 bullet points.
Those seem like big ones, you know.
So UVM is good with sending this person through with the issues that are stated on here? Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, why does it, I don't know. I don't understand how it comes on us to decide whether or not this person is doing a waiver. I would not hire this person based on that.
So part of the review for you will just be on their training requirements. That would be more of an internal decision if they're going to bring into the program operationally on that. But who they decide to employ is their decision, and then it just comes from, yeah.
And never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We see a lot of things.
All the things.
All the things.
All right. So, other than the first couple bullet points, the academy's good in terms of academics that are bringing over.
Correct.
All right.
So, Lindsay, under the rule, I can't see the files. I get a permissions error. Under the rules, what authority does the waiver committee have in granting or denying on the basis of the first 2 bullet points as they're being referred?
So I haven't seen anything that directly connects that goes under the entry standard. So under the entry standard rule, there's nothing that particularly points to waiver as far as those requirements go, just on the training.
So academics and training.
Mm-hmm. The council themselves can do a rule waiver for a person, and I believe the executive director can make a determination on those entry standards, whether or not they've admitted that, but also it does say may, not shall. The other portions say shall.
So I recall the council's discussion on this to a degree, and not being able to see the first 2 bullet points. I'm going to take an act of faith here.
I'm gonna try to drop them in the chat. One sec. Then you know what you're talking about.
Are these files for public consideration? Do we know that?
Registration form. Yes. Technically, it's been submitted as part of the registration file. So it's on their polygraph background.
I'm just curious if putting in chat will make it something it's not intended to be.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, if you go, so under council rule, here, I'll just tell you where it is in rule.
No, I know the council rule.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the bullet point is, so I'm trying to assess that. It's saying I don't have permission to view this file.
That's really weird. Does it say grant, like, can you do an access thing? Like say grant access?
No, it's like the file's been deleted or something. Do you know which account it's shared with for me? Since I'm one of those. interesting creatures
Funny
in
people.
Vermont government.
I'll tell you. Hold on.
Sorry to be a pain, everyone.
You're not.
Oh, good.
Well, while Lindsay's working on that, what I'll say is that there were some things where, generally speaking, the discussion of the council was, we have concerns about these types of behaviors, but at the end of the day, we also recognize people will grow up.
Yeah, so one of the bullet points talks about things happening within a year prior to the upcoming training entry session. So, I mean, I sort of agree, and not knowing the rules as well as everybody else, that I think our obligation is to look at the trainings that are coming in prior academics, and one would hope that an agency within the state would, take into serious consideration whether this person is best suited for the career or not. But
They also have, like through CALIA accreditation, I don't know what additional paperwork they have to supply for employment.
right. I mean, I'm of the mind where we put it to vote whether we want to bring them into waiver review, mostly because we can't make an employment decision, as painful as that might be.
Yeah, Marcus, to your m.anderso@windhamcountyvt.gov.
So when I try to go in with that address, it then takes me to State of Vermont login, which then breaks everything.
How about I share my screen?
Sure.
No, never mind. That does the same thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we're concerned about.
But I mean, this might just be another nuance of the rules that Lindsay, we throw on the rules docket and the rules committee can discuss. And as far as the waiver committee is concerned, you move forward and I'll just abstain since I can't view the materials.
Okay.
I can't either,
You
more,
can
Oh.
edit.
Sheriff, no. So that, if you could share it, that would be most useful. Because I
Could we
can't
go
make
into
a
a-
determination.
Hold on one second. You know what I'm gonna
Could we
do?
go into a breakout session, like executive session, so then it's not part of the recording?
We could. Let's try it. You're really gonna test my skills here.
I know you can do it. I've
Thanks.
seen it before.
Let's see. Inside, create a room. Participants. All right. All right, I'm gonna open the room. Never done this.
Said I couldn't join Lindsay.
Oh, it really doesn't like you. Why won't it let you in? Oh, now you're in there. How do I get in there? How do I go into a room?
So sad to miss you.
I really missed all of you. It's very awkward.
Couldn't bring the conductor with us. So I was able to share my screen. They were able to see the information of concern. And I think right now we're going to look to table this applicant. The sheriff's got a rule he can cite so that we hopefully can just try to get more information around it. That gives us a little more authority, or we can get clarification on what our authority would be per the rule.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lindsay, specifically Rule 14, which is the entry standards rule,
Yep.
says a person may be excluded from training.
Yep.
And for those specifics, the sub before also says a person shall be excluded for conduct to include conduct unbecoming. So
Yep.
there's an opportunity, and we just don't have the information to decide if it fits the rule or not. And I think it would be valuable, and I can volunteer to do this, to speak with the council's legal counsel on how we should interpret that. But ultimately, the agency head would have to come before the waiver committee to explain why Rule 14 doesn't apply. And legal counsel would have to explain to us if we're interpreting it correctly or not.
Okay.
Did I say that right, everyone else?
I like it.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Next one, Smith?
Yeah.
Okay. Smith, coming from Bennington PD. Sorry, I did not do the entry sheet, summary sheet, but went through a 345-hour academy, followed by a 719-hour academy. No cause for concern in the things that were submitted. Seems to have a lot of training behind what she's done and a lot of support from her prior agency. Has been working since after she graduated, it was Belchertown Police Department. She worked with them from 2016 to 2019. She graduated in 2019 and has been working with Deerfield Police Department since 2016. So I guess she was working for 2 at the time. Nothing concerning, and okay with staff.
I don't know if you guys can see that file. She's going for Bennington PD.
Oh, yep, Bennington PD. And the training prescription that's there is the standard waiver one, which includes criminal law, motor vehicle law, juvenile law, use of force and tactics, the deadly force test, first aid and CPR, firearm safety and qualification, either DUI or DUI equivalency, and DMT, sexual assault investigation, DV baseline, FIP baseline, search and rescue, interacting with people experiencing a mental health crisis baseline, animal welfare investigation, NCIC, and then potential additions from staff were CSI, NCIC, VIN and fingerprint, and CEW if carrying. Do I have this? I'm going to share that though.
You're gonna make her take NCIC twice. That's cruel of you.
Yeah.
Just cruel.
I don't know why I did that.
You're always ahead of the curve.
I just want to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah. Yep. That's me. Okay. Anybody have issues or concerns they want to discuss? Or let me put it this way, any questions you want to ask before making a vote to bring in or not? Okay, can everybody see this one?
I can see the prescription, and as long as the group's comfortable moving forward, I mean, I haven't been able to review anything, so I'm happy to abstain. Well, that shouldn't affect quorum purposes. If there's people comfortable moving on it, just for the sake of process, I think it makes sense, and I trust your judgment.
Yeah, I don't, my two
Yeah, I don't
chiefs, you guys can see it?
Yeah, I don't have any issues with it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept Marissa Smith into the waiver program.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Any abstentions? So 3 pass, 3 agree, 1 abstention on Marissa Lindsay.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll just table the next one till we can get, hopefully just till the next meeting, if we can get agency head with us or someone. All right, any general discussion anybody has?
Lindsay, or Aaron, just to follow up on the last one, and or Lindsay, should I have contact Attorney Burkett and talk to him about what we have interest in?
I'll set something up. I'll talk with him. I'll talk with Chris too, and then yeah, reach out to you about that, and then because it'll connect with rules.
Yeah, because we have to have that conversation too, and as long as everyone's comfortable with me asking the question I posed in the breakout room.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts. I would rather know what the authority we have is, right? I don't want someone getting in when they shouldn't and be left out when they shouldn't. So I'd rather get all the information.
Yeah.
All right, so Lindsay, you're gonna start that initial conversation?
Yep.
And then we bring it to rules if needed. All right. Anything else?
Sit on my end.
Awesome. Anybody want to make
Make
a motion to adjourn? Boom. Second. 2. All in favor? Aye. Raise your hand. Love seeing you all. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Enjoy your vacation.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Enjoy your
Bye.
vacation.